What's the worst that could go wrong?
Andy's here.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Andy, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. So we're just getting started, waiting for the rest of your bandmates to show up and join us on
They'll
this.
be late.
They'll be late. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's why we started a little early anyway. We always try to throw everybody else and make them feel like they're the ones late to the party.
Good, yeah.
But while we have some one-on-one time with you, or at least two-on-one, how are things with you during the quarantine?
Not bad. I mean, I feel kind of guilty saying that, but, things have been pretty good,
Yeah, I see that you've already released a new single. There's a lot of stuff going on with Siravo themselves, and then also you guys have your own side projects and other material that you guys are working on outside of the band. So there's a lot that we're going to cover in a 45-minute span, 40-minute span. So we'll get to all of it. But you guys as a whole right now have been pretty busy.
Yeah. I mean, we've obviously, and we'll probably get into all of it, but the separation has made it a little bit more difficult to do the traditional music thing, the traditional band thing.
Right.
Finding kind of new creative ways to have that out, that output, I guess. Music's been tough, but I don't know. I think individually we've been kind of stretching out a little bit and having some fun and exploring some things. And I think it'll be cool to bring that back to the band once we can all kind of get in the same room together.
In setting up this interview, I'm not sure who I was talking to, but I was messaging back and forth with somebody in the band, and they were saying that you had some water issues. You were having some studio problems.
Yeah.
Make it today.
It's a long, frustrating saga that I won't go into, or else I'll strangle somebody. But yeah, my studio's over there, and
right.
I
guess it's good that we're doing this, social distancing wise, and nobody's in the same room as you, so that you can't put your hands around their throat.
That's true. Yeah, I haven't had a studio in a little over 2 weeks at this point, so it's been
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow. Is everything just trashed, or is anything salvageable?
Everything, like gear-wise, everything's good. So
okay,
it could be way, way, way worse. But
that's a blessing.
The work is happening quite slowly. So the ceiling is being repaired and all that. So while that's going on, I can't move everything back in and do my thing. So
let's talk about what you have going on as an individual. Your side projects, all the music that you're writing. I just went on to your Facebook page, saw some of the videos that you had put up of yourself laying down some tracks, what did you, fat and mean riffs?
Yep, always.
So where's the direction for yourself going?
So I guess I've always kind of, ever since I started guitar, I've always been drawn to fat, mean riffs. So here we are, 20 whatever years later, playing fat, mean riffs. So the direction of the project is just to be as, honest as possible and creative as possible. We don't have to cater to anything in particular. So just do what I want.
Party bus is here.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, Mike?
Is my video not on? Hold on, give me a second.
Video's not on, but definitely, yeah, there you go.
There we go. I am not my wife.
All right, so now we have two members. We got two members of Siravo.
Yeah, Coop should be on his way. I'm going to turn this sideways so I'm the same as you guys. Hold on.
You're really rubbing it in, huh?
I know. That was really cool, though. That was kind of like being in, like, the space station, like that, just like the way it orbited around.
No, just the fact that you have your studio still. That's pretty cool.
I figured that's what you meant, Andy.
All right.
Yeah, Andy's studio is underwater.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Coop is coming in as well. So now we have 3 out of the 4 members of Siravo joining us. Coop, can you hear us?
Sec.
I can hear all.
All eyes and all ears on deck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm actually in the middle of making some chicken right now. So please.
By all means, eat dinner. Do what you got to do.
We are those chicken eating bastards,
That's true. We got to stay on brand.
Even in quarantine, we're still repping our brand.
That's right.
Well, it's good to see you guys. It's been over a year since we actually sat down and talked about The Restless and the Mad. Got it right, finally.
Oh, that's right. Coop is pretty pissed, huh?
I forgot. Yeah, he was like, "It's The Restless and the Mad. I gotta stop you."
I'm gonna tell. You learn things as you go, and I'm a definite let's fail first, and then we'll pick up from there. So.
Oh yeah, Yoda says that, man. Failure is the greatest teacher. Is failure.
He's a good one. He's up there. He's up there with Bill Nye in my book.
Oh yeah.
And that
Bill
guy's
Nye, Yoda, and failure. That's all you need, man.
That's it. That's all, like if that's all you need. And then you probably won't be able to fail ever if you have those guys.
Yeah.
Pocket. So anyway, thanks guys for coming on. It's, like I said, it's been over a year since we talked to you guys, and it's good to have at least the three of you. It's sad that we don't have Paul here, but obviously he's busy doing whatever he's got going on.
Laying the pipe.
Laying the pipe.
I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea.
If he is, God bless him.
He actually works for a pipeline company now, so.
Oh shit! Is that what?
No.
So what have you guys been up to? We were just asking Andy this, but Mike, Coop, what have you guys been doing since the quarantine has basically shut everything down?
Go ahead, Mike.
Sure. So, we started. I feel like we're in different phases of quarantine every few weeks. Like the first, when this all started, we decided we would do a lot of live streams. And I was live streaming for us and with my solo pop project. We've started writing music. Andy and I did a video cover of Down in a Hole by Alice in Chains.
Yeah, that was awesome, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, so that was like early on in the quarantine. And now we're just sort of writing, and I haven't really been live streaming because we've been working on our new stuff. But I'm going gung-ho on an EP for myself. Actually, I'm doing my first pop EP, which I'm really excited about. So I've been recording almost every night. I'm working on some other collaborations that I can't really divulge yet, but I'm really excited about those. And let's see, I put out a couple covers by myself on my YouTube channel. We've been staying busy. It's just very different. We can't play out. And although I will be, knock on wood, I'm supposed to play a show in Morristown with one of my friends, Corey. It's an outdoor show, so people will be able to socially distance. I'm surprised it's even still happening, but they tell me it is, so I'm going to show up as long as they tell me to show up.
Yeah, I saw you post that on your Facebook and on all your social media pages, and I mean, that's great news that you're getting back out there and doing a live show. I mean, nobody else is right now, unless it's one of these drive-in things that are happening across. Right. I mean, even baseball right now is questionable after what happened in Philadelphia. They have players testing positive, and now they can't even have games anymore. Since you already have a scheduled performance next month, do you guys yes. hope that live shows are going to come back sooner rather than later?
God,
yeah,
yes.
I mean, right.
I want to play so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only way they're going to be able to come back for a while now. I don't want to be pessimistic, but I mean, if you look at the numbers, it's not great.
When did you get your pilot's license, Mike?
When did I get my pilot's license?
Yeah, because of that chair.
I'm actually, I joined NASA.
Oh, yeah. Space Force.
You just have to fill out a questionnaire online.
Space Force.
That show was absolutely boring. I'm not going to lie. If anything.
I thought it was sweet.
Did you?
I didn't watch it. I saw a trailer.
Awesome.
It didn't look that great.
I sat through the season. I tried it. And Amber and I are fans of Ben Schwartz from Parks and Rec. We thought he would be funny. Yeah. And, he has a few moments. Malkovich was like the best part of it for me. But other than that, I just, nah.
You didn't, wait. So the joke names that were like making fun of actual people in offices was not doing it for you?
I wasn't paying that close attention to that. I really wasn't. Man. I really wasn't. I mean, it was the part with the scene with the monkey, though. That was a pretty good one.
Holy shit, that was so good.
If you haven't seen a monkey try to repair a space station, it's hands down gonna make you cry laughing. It's hysterical.
It was good.
Yeah,
all right, so wait. So the things that they were like touching on with like political, they made AOC. They made her have like a similar like fake character. So, but their characters was referred to as like AYC, angry young congresswoman. and then I think it was Tony Scaramucci or something, right? That was the guy that was the press secretary for a while.
Yeah.
So they have a guy named it's Fuck Tony in Space Force. They call him Fuck Tony instead of Tony Scaramucci.
All right, let's get back to the music. We're not talking about Netflix shows. So break the silence. That came out in December. awesome track, a little different from what you guys normally put down in your albums. So where was that inspiration from?
Andy, you want to start this off?
Yeah, this one I think we were trying to, from The Restless and the Mad, I guess, we kind of wrote separately and then we kind of pieced it all together. This time around with Break the Silence, I think we were trying to make it a little bit more lightning in a bottle, jamming, stuff like that, and more collaborative. So this one, Paul brought a song or pieces of a song and we kind of hammered it all out in a practice, a couple practices actually. And then I was driving up to Boston, I think it was, and just kind of started thinking about stuff, state of the world. And then this theme kind of came to me, and then Mike and I collaborated on lyrics. So it's a product of a solo drive to Boston.
It's a fantastic song. I mean, it's really edgy. I got the impression, off of one of your bigger influences that we talked about before, it sounded like a Shinedown song to me. Obviously with your own influences on it too, and making it a Siravo song. I've been playing it pretty regularly, and I gotta say, I could hear the song being played at Wells Fargo Center. Like, I can hear it being played in a major stadium like that. It has that stadium anthem feel to it. It's really good.
I do want to shout out Mike in his cockpit wherever he is right now, because I think, other than arrangement, I think one of the major things that gives you that kind of Shinedown feeling is the mixing and the production behind it. And Mike actually mixed this track. So
you're a slave on the computer, aren't you, Mike?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For Pro Tools session open now.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have my Adobe Audition open 90% of the time over here. Always messing with this thing. I mean, but it pays off. It sounds really, really awesome.
Thans, man.
Really,
yeah,
really cool
I really spent a lot of time mixing this one. And then I would send mixes to the band, and they would all give me their comments, and we would, agree on what we liked and what we didn't like, and I would go back and tweak. And we really spent a lot of time to make this sound right. We wanted it to sound big. It's funny that you said you could see this in like a big stadium, because that's sort of what we were imagining when we were writing the lyrics, Andy and I, especially in like the pre-chorus. We picture like a whole crowd, like, fists in the air and chanting along and singing along with us. So that's exactly what we were going for and exactly what we were envisioning.
How long do you guys usually sit on an idea for a song before you even bring it to any other band members and say like, hey, this might be something worth, seeing out, playing out?
I think it's all different. I mean, there's sometimes this particular one, I think, came together pretty quickly. Paul had the spark of the structure of the song and brought it to us. We loved it, and then we hammered it out immediately. So
yeah, I would say normally we act pretty quickly. We're not very judgmental of each other. We like kind of create a space where anyone can shoot out ideas, and I mean, we're honest with each other. If we don't like something, we'll say no, we're not doing that, and then we'll move on. But I think traditionally, I mean, like Andy said, every song is different, but traditionally it's like Paul brings a guitar riff to the band, or Andy might bring a riff to the band. And then we decide whether we like the track collectively. And if we do, we move on it. And I start writing melodies and lyrics. And like on this one, Andy and I collaborate on lyrics, like he was just talking about. And we just keep moving from there. It's the process can range pretty widely, but your question was, how quickly do you sit on an idea before you bring it to the band? I think we bring things pretty regularly, which is good. Like, we have that environment where we can, without judging each other.
So the brainstorming process is pretty collective between you guys then?
I would say on Break the Silence, that was the most collective brainstorming we've done. It's usually very formulaic. Like I said, Paul will bring a guitar riff, and he'll usually actually notate everything out on this program called Guitar Pro. He'll notate out the guitar riffs and the drums and his ideas for the bass parts. And then we'll take that and like kind of rewrite some of our own parts. Like Andy will rewrite his own guitar parts. I'll write a guitar solo, whatever the song needs. And then I'll write lyrics and melodies. But this one was very collaborative from the start. It was the first one that usually I write all the lyrics. This was the first one Andy and I got to work together, and it was pretty much a 50-50 split. We also collaborated on melodies. Although I mixed it, like I said, I would send mixes to the band and they would have some ideas for production and I would incorporate those. So this was our most collaborative project yet. And we probably want to do that in the future. This was just, we wanted to try something new to see what came out if we kind of disrupted our normal process.
So would you say it took longer to do the making of documentary than writing the song, or which one took longer?
Yeah, the documentary.
Yeah, the documentary.
The documentary. I mean, Andy, you checked your phone 6 times in that video.
Oh yeah,
There's
oh,
counting.
that's right.
I mean,
well, you know how reality TV is, man. It's all smoke and mirrors.
It's all skewed.
I had the script up, so we were, filming in segments, but obviously the way Mike is gonna
Who
edit
took
that,
longer to hit their
make me
lines,
look like
Andy
an
or
asshole.
Paul?
Oh,
Everyone
Paul,
said,
by far. It was honestly like Andy's so like kind of quick and to the point that those bloopers were kind of the only ones we had. That was the only way to make a mockery of Andy. And we were Paul, I wish you were here to talk about this. He would agree. Paul really lent himself to being made a mockery of on that day. We were laughing our fucking asses off.
He was just like, it was just so tough for him just because he was thinking about it too much. That's all it was.
Yeah. He was overthinking his answer. And then it would be like, I mean, you saw the bloopers. It'd be like he starts the sentence and be like, this
We're
or
super
something.
proud.
Yeah, we're super proud.
We're super proud of how this record came out. And he's like, we're super proud of this. Oh, no, shit. Oh, and then he'd have something in his throat. He's like, why can't I? We're super proud of how it was just like, I swear that whole thing was 15 straight minutes of him trying to say that one sentence. It was hilarious.
In his defense and all of our defenses.
Oh, yeah.
We are not orators professionally.
No.
We play
I'm not
music.
trying to just throw him under the bus.
Nobody is by nature. I mean, it's even hard for me to talk sometimes. Amber can attest to this. There are times where we're sitting down and recording the podcast. I'll be reciting a story, and then everything that comes out just sounds like something out of Michael Scott's mouth. Like it's just nothing but mumbles. It's terrible. And I've even caught myself doing it when I'm live on the air at the radio station that I work for. It's not easy to do, and especially when you're on the spot. Yeah, everything just comes out jumbled, and your tongue takes on legs of its own and just runs off. It's ridiculous.
Yes, definitely.
I'm
not throwing him under the bus. He would agree.
You guys have also been pretty busy you've had 4 quarantine sessions on Instagram, performing for your fans on that. So how does that work? You guys are all at your individual homes, your studios, or your
rub it in
your space console?
Yeah, the cockpit. That's maybe what I should rename my studio.
Please
I was
don't.
calling it Studio 24, but it might just be the cockpit.
Yeah.
No, well, with the live streams, that was actually just me. I was just doing acoustic sets because we tried working out how we could do it like each remotely, but there's so many issues with syncing the audio that with like, even if it's just like a 0.1 second delay, like we're not going to be in sync with each other. So we looked into this one platform and it looked a little promising, but it still wasn't going to really work because we weren't in our usual rehearsal space. So for miking the drum kit, it would have just been a whole nightmare. So I ended up just doing acoustic live streaming for I think 4 or 5 sessions.
That's awesome. And how many viewers did you get up for this?
We would get anywhere from 20 to 30 at a time. Yeah. People were pretty lively in the comment section. It was fun. I would do more of those. We're just we're working on some other things right now. But yeah, that was great. It was a new way for us to engage with our fans and take song requests and tell some stories of how the songs were written. Way more intimate than a usual live show. So
kind of like a virtual coffee house, like unplugged type of deal then? Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Exactly.
Tell me about your rig rundowns. It looks like you guys did one with Coop, and then maybe
Andy had one as well.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, that's like a total nerd thing. Like I love seeing the equipment. I love seeing what gets used. Like so. Yeah. I mean, how do you like? But most people just aren't interested in it. They just want to see you guys on stage playing your instruments, running around, jumping up on the balcony, jumping on top of bar tables.
Who could you be talking about?
Not anybody in particular, but.
Are you sure? I feel like that's like a Paul reference.
Could be.
He loves taking his drum set and putting it on top of tables.
Is it easy for you guys to, make your rig and explaining all that equipment and what makes you guys sound as good as you do, making it sound, I guess lively and energetic for some people? I know like when you get in the minutia of doing radio and stuff like that, nobody really cares how you hook up something or how something sounds or how a pedal works or all that kind of stuff.
I think for me, I did one rig down rundown. I don't even know, months ago at this point on my personal page. But again, like I knew it's not for everyone. So
Yeah.
I think that's something that in starting, not to divert the conversation, but starting my own kind of solo projects and stuff like that, I just do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Great. Like if you don't want to listen, then you don't have to, but it's just very fulfilling. So anyway, doing that rig rundown, I love watching the big rig rundowns of like Angus Young and seeing the stacks and stacks and stacks of amps and Marshall cabs, and he blows out all of the tubes, and it, just seeing the tech behind all that. I love watching, the Shinedown rig rundowns, the Metallica rig rundowns, just seeing how everything works. I mean, sound is difficult to achieve on those really high-end levels, and just seeing how they do it. So I'd like on my little setup, I'd like to, show people kind of my approach to the guitar. Everyone's is different. Mike's rig is going to be vastly different than mine. I mean, our sounds are different, our styles are different. So I thought that was pretty cool to share something that I hadn't really shared before in my approach to, how I approach the guitar and music and riffs and all that.
It was nice that you let us in, Andy. It was nice to get like a window into your personal space.
Definitely the most private of the band.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed mine. It was
yours?
cool. It was fun. I'd never done one before, and literally all of it, like a lot of the stuff that I was using in the rig rundown was like stuff that I hadn't used in my own personal setup before. So I got my pedal board with my stuff on there for like tone and like one or two distortion pedals. And then I actually got myself a studio set up as well. So I got like one of those Scarlett, just 2-channel like inputs, so I can do like home recording, whatever. And it was awesome. I got a new bass head, which is made by Dark Glass, and it's unbelievably good. I haven't even gotten to play it live yet because I bought it in quarantine. So
it still hasn't gotten any real workout.
No, not really. I mean, I did a test down, in my basement to not blow out my entire neighborhood because it's pretty loud. and I live in a row home, so like everyone will feel it if I start playing. But I tested it out. It sounded pretty cool, but I'm really excited to like get it out there and like open it up.
Is it something that you're going to be showcasing a lot in your other band?
Oh, in Tala? Yeah, for sure. This will be like, so like I got this new head. I have a cab that I bought. Well, I didn't buy it. I got it for Christmas. But I have basically a whole new rig like that I haven't used ever yet. Right. So I'm really excited to whichever band gets the show first is when I'm ready. So it's almost like a race at this point.
How is it working with the guys in Tala?
Tala, it's going well, man. We got a new album coming out, and we have a bunch of singles and stuff that have just been coming out. We released an EP a little while ago called "No One Should Read This," and it got some good attention, which was really nice, and we're really fortunate. But now we're taking those songs and having them remixed, and we're adding stuff, taking stuff away, making these old songs pop a little bit more with the new songs that we recorded to sort of have them, sort of fit and mesh a little bit better.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're in the band with Justin Bonnets. He's the lead singer, and you guys also have Max Portnoy, right? He's your drummer in the band.
Indeed.
Yeah. So how did you get set up with those guys?
So, I think this dates. Holy shit, this goes back, man. You remember Legendary Dobbs, right?
Yeah, I know Dobbs.
So when that was still open, it was Jim Cunningham, I believe, who booked a show with one of my other bands. Yeah, right.
I remember Jim.
Oh yeah, good band, Jim Cunningham, for the most part.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great for the most part. No, he's a great guy.
But no, we all jokes aside, he's a cool dude. He booked a show for us for my band Dead Stop and another band ADD at Legendary Dobbs, and then he also booked Max's old band Next to None, and that's how we met. A couple months later, we do a Dockside show together. I think Siravo was actually at that show as well. I remember that.
I don't think
I played though. I don't think I was in the band yet.
Not
Was
with
I?
Max, but not with Max, but you were with Dead Stop at that point.
I was a Dead Stop. I think it was a Dead
Yeah.
Stop, Siravo, and Next to None show.
Next to None
at
show, yeah, I remember that.
Dockside. Yeah, that was a. I remember that night particularly being a very good night.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like
everyone
just the
having
show?
everyone kicked ass. Like
Everybody was on
everyone's
point.
bands.
So everybody was on point that night.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I mean, Dockside is always a fun time, anyways. But I just distinctly remember it being like, this was like a crazy killer like lineup. It was a real fun night. So yeah, cut to a couple months after that, maybe a year and a half later, I don't even know. Not even. Max hits me up and he's like, "Hey man, I need some help with the show. My band needs a fill-in bassist. He can't make it." That show, I ended up rehearsing with them, learning their songs. The show got canceled, and then a little bit later, that band ended up fizzling out for Max. So he hit me up and was like, "Hey man, I'm starting a new band, and I need someone to lose their mind on stage."
They came to the right person.
I felt honored to be thought of in that respect.
When we saw you guys play the Broken Goblet last year, I think it was towards the end of the summer when you guys had performed, and the Broken Goblet has a really cool stage, and it's a real fun place to be at.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I never expected at any given point in time to see the bass player literally on the second floor balcony as I'm down by the stage, he's got 1 foot up doing the Captain Morgan stance over the balcony. I mean, have you ever broken a leg? Have you broken your bass? Have you broken anybody's nose before? Because you're all over the place, man.
Well, there have been a few collisions. I think I've hit Andy a couple times. I know I've hit Mike.
You've hit me?
I think I hit your guitar head.
Maybe just. Oh, that's right. That's
You
right.
guys crossed swords.
There was a show. What's it? Yeah.
You guys crossed
There was a
swords.
show at Hollystock, I think it was, where Coop stood on my amp, jumped off of it. My guitars were in front of it. Coop has a knack, actually, for more than hitting me or my stuff. He has a knack for knocking the microphone off of the speaker of my amp, so you can't hear my guitar for the rest of it. And he also has a particular knack for doing it right before a solo.
Yes, just when you need him to.
Yeah, I remember the first show Coop played with us. I think it was the first show, and it was at the Troc in Philly, the Troc balcony. And he was actually just filling in for our old bass player, Izzy Ray. I don't remember what the situation was, but Coop filled in. And in the middle of Don't Run Away, he stepped on this surge protector. He stepped on the off button, and that was connected to my guitar processor, and maybe even my amp. I think just it doesn't matter. The processor at least that brings my whole rig down. That's the whole thing. That's like
if you guys ever do an outdoor show, just make sure he doesn't have backstage clearance, because he might just kill the generator if he happens to walk back there.
Everyone's just done except Paul. He'll be loud as ever.
Oh, yeah.
No, so
Yeah,
he stomps on this surge protector. Processor goes out. It takes me a second to realize. Fortunately, I use in-ear monitors, so I have the sound coming straight through my ears at all times.
Yeah.
It's just my guitar and my vocal, so I know the second something goes wrong. And I'm singing, and we're in whatever the section was right before a big solo. I think we might have even been in the chorus. And I was like, shit, I'm going to finish this vocal part and I'm going to play this damn solo. So in between the verse and the pre-chorus, I skipped the line and I hit my processor. I had to get it all turned on and everything and get all the settings right. And because there's a few different buttons you got to press to make sure it sounds the way it's supposed to sound. And I'm jumping up and down, singing a line and coming back down. And I took the mic out of the stand and I'm down there fidgeting. Fortunately, I didn't have to play guitar at that point. And I'm just going through the settings and I'm singing at the top of my range. And then I put the mic back on and start wailing the solo. It turned on just in time.
And and the span of time that all happens in.
Probably 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Between me realizing it and it all getting turned back on, 20 seconds.
If you guys haven't seen, Amber's dog Ronan is now joining us. He's a big Siravo
Sorry.
fan.
What is his name? Ronan?
Ronan, yeah.
Nice.
After the
Ronan.
bad guy from Guardians.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, look.
So we got a little bit of time left. So I just want to ask you guys a couple questions. Mike, I think you guys said that you guys were working on new material.
Yeah, we're in the very early stages, so we're just writing right now. We haven't
Okay.
recorded anything, and we haven't even gotten in the same room together. We're trying to be as responsible as possible,
Right.
and just until it's absolutely necessary, we're able to just sort of like write remotely.
Gotcha.
And as Andy mentioned, he sort of started some solo stuff. Coop's working on some home recording. I've got a ton of solo stuff I'm working on as well. So we're just sort of like interspersing our own projects with writing our next project, and I think we'll probably ramp up in the next couple months on that.
What's like the next step that you guys are waiting for, like in order to bring your writing and your material together in order to form the next round of songs?
Honestly, just until it's a little safer.
Yeah.
We're sort of at the mercy of all that. Like I said, we're just trying to be responsible, and we haven't absolutely needed to be in the same room together, so we haven't, which is tough. But it's also sort of created. This whole thing is like, it's tough for everyone. But to a degree, like there's new things that you can try and learn. And that's where like the live streaming came from, and, using this opportunity to just sit back and write a few more songs. And then maybe our release strategy kind of changes once things get back to normal. That's probably the most I can say about that. We're not going to be in the same room until we have to be, I think.
You guys gather any inspiration during quarantine and realize about yourself, realize about your current situation, realize something about the band that has helped, progress your music playing ability or your style?
Yeah, I think just kind of getting a break from the normal grind, the normal rhythm and hecticness of life. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of slowing down and not having as many obligations or having this time crunch or this necessity to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I've been enjoying is just kind of, reading and thinking and enjoying, my girlfriend's company and, talking to people from a distance, but not having the obligations and really being able to slow down. And again, just to return to the thing you and I were talking about before everyone else joined in, which is just kind of doing what I want. I mean, it's been nice not having to produce certain kinds of music in any sort of timeline. It's just kind of you create and you enjoy the process. So I guess that's where I'm coming from.
Anybody else? Coop? Mike?
I think I'm slowly descending into madness.
Who isn't?
I mean,
who is it?
Don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely for like staying safe and abiding by all the rules. Like wear your mask, don't talk to people too close, like all of the rules. Wash your hands, like totally do all of those things. But I think I'm gonna write something about going insane.
Yeah.
I think actually to piggyback off that, a lot of things that I've been thinking about, I'm sure we all have, is the world around us has descended into chaos.
Without a doubt.
So
without a doubt.
Naturally, with any sort of art that reflects what we feel and how we perceive things and what comes out creatively. So I think that's affected me in my writing, and definitely my upcoming single. Obviously, I don't have a studio right now, but when I get to work on that again, I mean, it's some deeper stuff.
I'm sure if Mike had proper PPE and sanitizer stations all over his cockpit there, he would be more than willing to let you come over, right?
Come to the cockpit. Take a seat in the chair.
Oh my God.
I have a similar but a little bit different mentality about this whole thing. I'm the type of person that I put a lot of pressure on myself to like do as much as possible. And that's actually poured into the writing for my solo EP. I've reflected on that about myself, and I've written 3 songs about kind of, stemming off of that idea that I am obsessed with, like, I'm not doing enough. I could be doing this. Oh, what if I could write one more song? I could make one more social media post. I could like post another video. Oh, if I'm doing this right now, I'm not doing this. And if I work with this person, then I can't do this. But I really want to work with that person. It's like I drive myself crazy sometimes. That's not to say that I don't necessarily torture myself, but I noticed that about myself, and it's not the most healthy thing. On one hand, like, I think that it pushes me to do a lot. Like when I'm obsessed with doing a lot, there's a lot of results, but like I put a lot out, but I'm trying to sort of like take a step back and just focus on what I'm doing in that moment and really fully enjoy it and fully appreciate it, because I think I'm putting more into it when I do that. Yeah. Yeah,
Very nice.
exactly. Listen to my own advice in this moment.
Well, guys,
so that's all poured into my EP.
well, guys, I really appreciate the time. It looks like we're running out of this video meeting, so I'm just going to wrap this up here. I really appreciate the time, really appreciate the music. Hope you guys have got a lot more success going forward with all your individual products and the band as well. Coop, Mike, Dr. Ohms, Andy, thank you so much for joining us here on the Monster Rock Show. And
Thanks for having us, man.
guys. We'll see you around.
Thank you, dude.
Thanks, man.
Hey, man.
See you later.
See you guys. Have a good
guys.
night.
Take it easy. Be safe.
Bye, Amber.
Bye.